Welcome to your Power Flow practice. My name is Monica, and if we haven't shared space before, I like to laugh my way through yoga. Not all the time, but in a power practice, I think the mess is the magic. So embracing the struggle and leaning in. In today's practice, we will be utilizing a block for some core work. If you have one and you don't have it handy, quickly grab it now. And if you don't have one and you don't have anything block shaped like a Tupperware or something, then that's okay, you'll be fine too. Let's begin in an easy seated position, taking a few moments to land on our mats in our bodies. If you feel comfortable closing down the eyes, I invite you to join me in doing so. And if that's not for you, soften your gaze in front. And allow these first few breaths to draw your attention inward. Taking this time to acknowledge yourself for carving time out of your busy schedule to arrive on your mat. And pausing for 3 breaths to create space to check in with what would best serve you in this practice. Pausing to identify any unmet needs that may exist. And through this practice, bringing attention to that need that may have shown itself and mindfully seeking to meet it. That might be a physical release. That might be acknowledging that you are enough, stepping into an empowered way of being. Or maybe it's just this time to land on your mat, to move mindfully, to release any to-do from your day, and to just be here now. Together, one more full breath in the nose. Feel the belly fill with air. Open the mouth, sigh it out. And let's meet in a tabletop position. Coming to land in this tabletop position. If your wrists feel good, stacking shoulders above the wrists. If they're a little bit tight, just take the hands forward a hair. Then begin to cycle through some slow, gentle cow-cat movement. Knowing that if any additional movement feels good, if your body's seeking any additional movement, maybe circling out the hips, maybe taking it a little bit forward. No, that's always welcome. Just move in a way that feels good. One more here. Come back to center, pause in a neutral spine, and then take the fingertips towards the knees. From here, we're just gonna gently shift back. A little attention to the forearms, maybe you tuck the toes. And if this is a lot, you can take the hands closer to the body. The further away the hands are from the body, the more intense this sensation is gonna be. Whoo! One more. Perfect. Release the fingertips to the outside edges of the mat. And from here, begin to make very gentle circles in a counterclockwise direction. If you're moving in a clockwise direction, that's okay. When I switch, you switch to the other direction. I feel like I probably get them mixed up all the time, so maybe I'm moving clockwise right now. Ha! And switch. Just check in with how the wrists, how the area around the wrists are feeling. If you notice you have a little bit more space to lean into, if you check in and you find any sticky spots, maybe you linger there for an extra millisecond. And release. Take the big toes to connect at the back of your mat. Roll up onto them. We're gonna come into a toe squat. We're gonna be a little bit gentle here. Taking the knees to the mat. I always like to spread the toes out. Really do it physically. I feel like when I tell my toes to spread, they're like, huh, what? We are. And then sitting the bum back on the heels if that feels good. If your toes are screaming and this isn't for you, take it forward, take it forward, take it forward until it feels good. But then coming to rest here, if available, interlace the fingers and roll out the wrists. So we had some weight bearing release. Now I'm just gonna let it all go. I always like to do something with my hands when I'm in a toe squat, like it's a distraction. Forget that the toes are screaming. Oh, don't talk about it. Okay. And other direction. I don't actually know if my wrists move in two directions when they're interlaced, but the intention is there, and that's something. Whoo! Release, take the hands back to the mat. Lift the toes. Whoo! Breathe life into them. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Walk the hands forward a hair, tuck the toes, send the tailbone to the sky. We're in a downward facing dog. Find your breath here. Sink into this shape. And just take a few breaths here. We will take a few breaths here together just to land in this shape. Not expecting anything from it, not forcing anything, just allowing the body to arrive. Final breath. With a generous bend in the knees, slowly walk the feet to meet the hands at the top of your mat. Inhale, arms extend overhead. And exhale to fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, pausing here. I'm gonna stay here for a complete breath. Maybe say bend the knees, but I feel like maybe you're wagging your tail here. That's cool too. Just pausing here. And with an exhale, release, forward fold. Hands connect to opposite elbows. We're in a ragdoll shape. Staying here for 5 full breaths. Really inviting a release in the low back. Checking in that we're not gripping or clenching in the neck. I know my default is to get curious and look at what's going around me. I promise the walls around you will still be there when this shape is over. So just let that tension go. Let the head hang heavy. Settle into movement in this shape that feels good, whatever that looks like. Hands release to the mat. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step both feet back. Release the knees to the mat. We're gonna ease into this. I promise we'll find some heat. And lower all the way down to your belly. From here, release the hands, palms face down beside the body, cycling through 5 rounds of locust to the breath. Your choice if you keep the feet ground down or if you lift the feet as you lift the upper body and the hands. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. Feeling everything pull into midline as you rise. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. Twice more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Final time. Inhale, lift. Maybe lifting 1 inch higher. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Take the hands beneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, press back to a child's pose. Torso drapes over the thighs. Maybe a little gentle movement here. Rooting through the hands, come back to your tabletop position, just long enough to walk the hands forward, release the forearms to the mat. Hips stay stacked above the knees. Forehead comes to the mat. We're in a melting heart shape. You might stay here. If you have a lot of space, your chest might draw down to the mat. If the mat feels super far away, you can always take a block beneath the head, beneath the chest. Send your breath to your shoulders if they're tight. Let your breath open them up. We'll stay here for 4 more breaths. Slowly rise up, tuck the toes, root through their hands, press back, downward facing dog. This time maybe you drop one knee through center, then the other. Just a little low back stretch here. And then 1 full breath in downward dog, sending the tailbone to the sky. As you exhale, take the feet to meet the hands at the top of your mat. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, high to low plank. Coming to your high plank, shifting forward, low plank. Inhale to upward. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Pedal the feet out here, take a deep cleansing breath. Look to the top of your mat, step or hop the feet to meet the hands. Inhale to rise, exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high to low plank. Inhale to upward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze up, step or hop to the top of your mat. We're gonna take 3 more Sundays together here. Inhale, rise up. Maybe a gentle back bend this time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen out. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back. High to low plank. Inhale to rise. Exhale to root. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Inhale through the nose. Let it all go out the mouth. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop back. High to low plank. Inhale to upward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat. Step or hop your way up. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step or hop back. High to low plank. Inhale to upward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step the feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Feels like a break to be on the feet, right? Finding a little stability. We're gonna take a tree pose, balancing in the left leg to begin. You might take the foot to the inside of the calf. Maybe it comes to the inner thigh. This feels like a break, right? Set your drishti gaze. Soften in that stabilizing leg. Claw down. I always like to think of my standing foot like a bird on a wire. And I think clawing for dear life, but then I remember birds can fly, so they'd be fine. Just as we would if we fell on the ground. Staying here with the hands at heart center, or if you feel a little bit of space to explore some depth, maybe the arms come to a cactus. Woo! Maybe they extend up to a Y. This is tempting you to do the YMCA. You do it. I would eat the floor quickly, I think. One more breath here. Wherever you're at, slowly take the hands back to heart center. Woo-hoo-hoo. Landing here. And then gently release. Keeping that right leg lifted up if possible. Draw the knee in towards the chest. So we're kind of doing a standing wind relieving pose here. Taking the knee in towards center. Awesome. Then taking the hand to the knee, you might take the left hand out for balance. I sure am. And then gently opening the knee to the side. Releasing back to center. Maybe have to move a little bit. You might stay here with the knee, opening up the knee, or if it's available, taking the peace fingers to bind the big toe, opening up to the front and then to the side. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Slow release. Keep the leg lifted if you can. We've got this. Cross the right leg over the left. Hands come to heart center. Sink. Sink all the way back. The challenge here is that this is my strong leg. So let's see how spicy it gets on the other side. Tell ya, the magic is in the mess. Falling out is totally fine. And I'll probably lead by example here today. Whoo! One more breath. Inhale, rise up. Release. Wiggle some life into the legs. And we'll pause for a moment. Inhale, release the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, hands to opposite elbows. Taking a ragdoll shape for 2 full breaths. And you might do as I'm doing, taking the elbows to the outside of one knee, one shin, and then the other. Awesome. Release the hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Are we moving to your strong leg? Because we're not moving to mine. But we got this. We're doing this. Now coming to balance on our right leg. Finding tree pose. Really gripping down. Claw into the mat. And just know that differences that exist from side to side are totally natural. Our intention is to practice without judgment, to always thank ourselves for showing up. Maybe if you found some depth on the other side, taking the arms to a cactus or doing a little dance to the YMCA, you might do it on this side. I'm just going to stay here praying not to fall. Claw into the mat for 1 more breath. And slowly release. Keep that leg lifted if you can. Maybe it's barely. That's okay. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Draw the knee up to center, coming to that standing wind relieving pose. There might be a little bit more burning on this other side. After we've already worked, that's okay. We got this. We're strong. Awesome. Taking the left hand to the knee, right hand extends to the side, praying for balance. Open the knee to the left, to the side. Come back to center. Maybe staying here, doing that again. Or maybe taking the peace fingers to bind the big toe, opening to the front and the side. Whoop. Maybe your hips popping. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Keep that leg lifted. Oh, or maybe tap down twice. And then cross the leg over. Oh, dear God, sink back. Sink it back. 2 more strong breaths. We've got this. We've got this. And 2. Rise up. Whoo, meet me at the top of your mat. Wiggle your legs. Inhale, arms sweep all the way overhead. Interlace the fingers, stretch them up to the sky. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Release the hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back, high to low plank. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. One more full breath here. Look to the hands, step the feet to the top of your mat. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Hands to opposite elbows. We're taking a ragdoll shape for 2 breaths. Again, taking movement that feels good. Release the hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. Make any adjustments, high to low plank. Inhale to upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Extend the left leg long behind you, then step it through to the center top of your mat. Rise up, warrior 2. Back foot is parallel. It's like we're on a tightrope here. Making a T, opening up the hips. Release the hand down the thigh, open up the palm, reverse your warrior. Woo! Maybe it'll be a fallen warrior. Release warrior 2. And then take the hand to the thigh. I'll get there. Extend the arm overhead. We're in an extended side angle. You might stay here. This might be perfect. Or maybe it feels good to take the hand to the mat. Sink a little lower. One more breath. Release the hands through center. Take the feet parallel to one another. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Heels in, toes out. Keeping the hands at heart center. Sinking down to goddess. If you're like me, it takes a little coaxing. I don't know that it ever won't. And that's okay. So if you need to coax your body on board, go ahead and do that. Landing here in goddess, take the hands to the ears. We're not holding on to the ears, just taking the hands as support. Elbows are up. And from our goddess, with our arms up, we're gonna twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, right elbow towards the right hip. Inhale, center. Exhale, left to left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. One more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, extend the arms up. Rise to release. Woo. Exhale, fold forward. All the quads, all the quads. Hang out here in this forward fold. Find any movement that feels good. Slowly walk the hands to what was the back of your mat. Your right foot pivots. Inhale, rise up. Warrior 2, right side. Might check out what your back foot's doing. I trust it, but sometimes it needs a little assistance. That's okay. Land here in your warrior 2. Really root down evenly through both feet. One more breath. Release the front palm to the sky. Reverse your warrior. Or maybe like on the other side, it's a little wobbly. You might have an almost fallen warrior. It's probably a new one. It's probably a move I'm creating that nobody wants to take from me. Release warrior 2. Arm to the thigh. Find that long line from the extended hand all the way to the back grounded foot. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you take the hand to the mat. Whew. Maybe it burns if you do it. And maybe you stay here anyway. That's okay. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Then take the feet parallel, taking the hands to the hips, coming into a Skandasana. Hands to the hips, just long enough to release them to the ground. Sending the toes of the right foot to the sky. You might stay here if there's sensation that isn't serving you. Release the shin to the mat. That's good too. And if you are in this shape and you're like, what? I don't feel anything here. Come back up to your wide leg fold. Take a wider stance and then release down into it. But from here, you might keep the hands connected to the mat. That might be perfect. Maybe you draw the hands to heart center. Maybe you YMCA. Not me, not today. Not today, village people, not today. One more breath. Amazing. Slowly release. Send the soles of both feet back to the mat. Find a little bit of gentle movement from side to side before coming to your Skandasana on the other side. Maybe if it takes a little bit of movement to settle in, or maybe if a little bit of movement settling in feels good, do that. It appears to feel good for me right now, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, calm down. Nope. Make a big base with your toes. One more breath. And slowly release. If ever you're like, is that your strong leg? And you look and it's like, oh, the camera must be twitching. No, that's my leg doing its very, very best. And that's good enough. Release back to your wide leg fold. Inhale, arms extend overhead. This time we take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw the shoulders down and back, open, open, open through the heart center. Really feel that expansion as the shoulders draw down and back. And as you exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Take what you need here. That might be going from side to side. Maybe that feels good. Maybe it's even, pippity pop. Maybe it's even a little bit higher, taking it from side to side. Maybe you hang out in center, really actively draw the palms together and just let the arms move from the tailbone back to the sky. Just find what best serves you in this moment and hang out there. Final breath. Slowly inhale to rise up. Let go. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Heel toe the feet in just enough to take the heels in, toes out, and sink your bum to the ground for a yogi squat. If it feels good to take this shape with support, place something beneath the bum. But if it's okay here, stay here. In short order, we are going to be exploring crow pose. So I like to have an intention when I land in a yogi squat for more than a couple breaths. And the intention in this yogi squat is opening the hips for crow pose. And if you're like me, I don't need any additional challenges. I don't need my hips fighting against me when I'm trying to hold my body up on my hands. Just me? I don't know. So I am going to mindfully direct my breath to my hips and welcome the opening. If you do have your hands at heart center with the elbows actively drawing the knees open, You might invite that nice counter movement. So as you're sending energy into the knees, welcoming the opening, also simultaneously sending the energy from the knees in towards the arms. So a nice push-pull, 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 which is not unlike what we're gonna do in crow. Yeah, it's all connected. One more beautiful breath here. And release. Let it go. We'll take a moment to explore crow here. So just checking in. We did open the shoulders with our melting heart. We have mindfully sent our loving energy to opening the hips and have given the wrists some attention. But check in. If you still have any resistance in your wrists, just pause here, hold on. Take a hot minute to give them a little bit more attention. Whatever that looks like. Maybe this. I don't know what this movement is, but feels good. I'm gonna do it. And if crow is a new shape for you, I'll just blast through a quick demo. So the intention is to take the hands about shoulder distance apart to create a nice spider finger. So looking like your hand is a spider. Really pressing down into the thumb edge of the palm. And as you shift the weight forward, looking for that color change in the pad of the fingertip. So if you have nail polish, you're not gonna be able to see that. I've got some fabulous COVID nails that are perfect for doing crow. That's about all they're perfect for. But then taking the feet, you might take a little bit of a space, or you might connect the feet. You might like to place a block beneath the feet to use as a perch. Totally your choice. You might take the knees to the outside of the triceps and wrap them that way, or you might take the knee to the back of the tricep. I feel like it is all about experimenting, finding what works best for you, what works best for your body, and then looking for that change in your spider finger pads of the finger, gently keeping your gaze out ahead. If you look down, I promise you'll fall down. Look ahead, stay ahead, and then gently, one at a time, lifting one foot, then the other, pulling everything up and in, breathing. Hang out there as long as feels good. Maybe exploring any other variations, maybe taking a side crow. We'll do one quick side crow. If side crow is new, same foundation, taking the hands about hip distance apart. Two ways you can do it, a single arm or a double arm. For today's class, we'll do the double. So taking the one elbow to the back hip, the one elbow to the front knee. So really the key in this shape is having that rotation from the spine. Everything else is basically the same as your regular crow, pulling everything in, engaging the entire body, igniting the core, lifting up and in, but twisting, taking the gaze ahead. If you look down, I promise you'll fall down. I do anyway. And then very slowly lifting up. And release. Grab a sip of water if that's calling to you. It is to me. I just had a pretty good internal light up when I saw my cup. And then making sure your block is within reach. We won't use it quite yet, but making sure it's handy. Come to meet in a downward facing dog. Taking the feet to meet the hands at the top of your mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back, high to low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg extends back, pausing here, finding that length. Then taking the left knee outside the right elbow. Release. Left to left. Release. Left to right. Release. Left to left. Release. Left to right. Extend the leg. Open up. Fallen triangle. My favorite shape to talk through. The mess is in. The magic is the mess. What? I don't know. Even thinking is hard in this shape. Pull everything up and away from the earth, gazing to the sky. One more strong breath. Release back to high plank. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just kidding. Bonus 5, 4. Squeeze everything in. 3, 2, 1. Release. Downward facing dog. Deep cleansing breath in and out. In through the nose. Let that heat go out the mouth. Right leg extends back. Right knee, left elbow. Release. You know where we're headed. Right knee, right elbow. Let it go. Right to left. Release. Right to right. We'll pause here for 3, 2, 1. Release. It's like a bonus. Right to left. Extend the leg. Open up. Fallen triangle. Engage the obliques. Pull everything up and away. Find your breath. Turn your brain on if it's shut off like mine. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release back to downward facing dog. And come back into high plank. You can drop the knees for a second just to grab your block. So we want to have our block here just ahead of where we're planking. So enough that you can reach it from your plank. Spoiler, we're tapping it. Enough that you can reach it, but not too close. You want a bit of a challenge. And once your block is set, coming back into your high plank. You might join me taking the feet out a bit wider because we will be moving, lifting one hand and then the other, just to help stabilize. We really don't want to rock through the core. Really want to squeeze everything. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze everything. Hug everything into center. We'll begin by tapping the left hand to the block. That's it. Then right. Back to center. Now take the left hand, touching the outside of the left thigh and back. Right hand, right thigh. And back. Left hand to the block and back. Right hand and back. Maybe you're shaking. I hope you're shaking. Left hand to the thigh and back. Right hand to the thigh and back. Left to the block. Right to the block. Left to the thigh. Right to the thigh. 2 more rounds. Left to the block. Right to the block, left to the thigh, right to the thigh, left to the block, right to the block, left to the thigh, and right to the thigh. Release the hips, press back to downward facing dog. Taking 2 deep cleansing breaths here. 1 more. We'll come back to high plank, our final plank move. I know, you're so disappointed. Your final plank move, our final plank move.
We'll find plank saws. So on the toes, I love this one. On the toes, shifting forward and back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bonus 10. No, just kidding. Drop the knees. Press back to child's pose, knees wide. Nice deep cleansing breath here, taking movement that feels good. Nice, rise all the way up, take the knees hip distance apart. We're going to build up to full camel. I like to prep coming into it with usually 5 rounds, 4 rounds, and then the 5th round is the final expression. You can take a block and place it beneath, by beneath, I mean between the thighs, if that feels good, just to help engage everything. If you're comfortable without it, keep it without. But how I like to move through it is coming in, because it is a pretty aggressive back bend. Coming in, arms extend up, and as you exhale, taking them to a cactus. Hips drive forward, quads engage, everything's squeezed in and fired up. And taking that for 4 rounds, progressing a little further every time, and on the 5th and final round, landing in our full expression. So sinking back on the hips. Nice little break before we begin. Awesome. Rise up, inhale, arms extend overhead, and you can keep the tops of the feet. I gotta tap it, I don't know what it's called. You can keep the tops of the feet on the mat, or you can tuck the toes. Whatever feels best, whatever feels more stable, and you might adjust as you go. That's okay. Inhale, arms extend overhead. Exhale, arms to a cactus, hips drive forward. Awesome. Inhale to extend. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Moving a little deeper. Final time before our full expression. Awesome. This time, inhale, arms extend overhead. Exhale, maybe the hands come to the back of the hips. Maybe you connect with the heel, taking the chin to the sky, drawing the hips forward. For 3, 2, and 1. Slow release. Connect the knees. Release the torso down to a child's pose. The arms might stay extended long, or maybe release the arms beside the body, palms face up. Here for 2 breaths. From here, rising slowly, we'll take an inversion of your choice. That might be waterfall, coming to your back, lifting the sacrum, placing a block beneath it, sending the feet to the sky. Maybe you take a forearm stand or a handstand, or you might join me in taking a forearm headstand. Again, if this is a new shape to you, for you, here's your 12-second explanation to flip upside down with no concerns. Taking the hand to the forehead, finding where that middle finger lands, creating a cradle for your head, drawing the elbows in, stacking your bones, rooting into the mat, pressing up and away, slowly walking the feet in, and then lifting 1, then 2, setting that drishti gaze. Engaging everything, continuing to breathe. Yep, breath is important. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Slowly draw the knees to the body. If you can lower slowly, slowly, slowly with control. Do it. Take the knees wide. Release that. Awesome job with the child's pose. Next time, if you've taken the knees wide, I like to release the neck after doing any inversion. So if the head is connected to the mat, gently rolling from one edge of the forehead to the other. Nice, gentle, no tension, I say, no tension in the neck. Let it go. Amazing. And when you feel satisfied, come to land on your back. Taking one block, it doesn't need to be, you don't need to use it yet, but keeping it within reach in case you do choose to use it. You're gonna take the feet to a butterfly shape. Nice little Supta Baddha Konasana. We're about to relax, right? No, not yet. So with the soles of the feet connected, finding a bridge. So keep those feet drawing together. You might take the hands to the mat, or you might root through the triceps. you might have to take a second to see what feels best. And as you inhale, lift up. Really feel the hip flexors coming to life. Feel like the theme of the day is squeeze your butt. I promise we'll relax. We'll relax in Shavasana. You can let your butt go. Oh boy. Squeeze 1 inch higher. Thinking about squeezing the soles of the feet together. Thinking about lifting, sending the hips to the sky. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow lower. Draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. 1 breath. Just long enough to release them hip distance apart. Make sure you can tickle the back of your heels. And with an inhale, lift to bridge. You might stay here with the hands on the mat or dancing around you, or you might interlace the fingers, roll onto the shoulders, create a little bit more space. Wherever you land, if you notice that the knees are splaying out, just keep everything pulled into center. And from here, we're gonna find really small pulses. So staying lifted, but dropping the hip to the right for 1, back to center. To the left for 2, center. Right for 3, center. Left, center. For 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last bit of work, you got this. For 10, 9, 8. It's like a dance party. 7, 6, 5. Lift 1 inch higher. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift up, hold here. Final bit of work. You got this. Send the energy into the earth. Pull everything into center. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're ready? Release your butt. Extend the legs long. Interlace the fingers. Release them overhead. Lengthen out. Take the sole of the left foot in towards the body. I promise we're not doing more bridge. Cross the right leg over. Reclined pigeon or a figure 4. Taking the hand to the back of the thigh if that feels good. Maybe to the shin. Ooh, sweet Pete, if your glutes, hamstrings are tight, the shin might feel super far away. Take a little bit of movement here if it feels good. Gentle shift from side to side. Awesome. Release the sole of the left foot to the mat if you've taken it off. Keep that right leg crossed over. It might stay here, or you might hook it all the way over. We're coming into an eagle legs twist. So you might keep the leg crossed over here, maybe the foot hooks under, then releasing the arms out to a cactus. Gently take the legs to the left side of your space. Make any adjustments. I always have to lift up my back and then ground down again. And just know that if this twist isn't for you or it isn't for you today, just find a twist that is. Maybe that's with the knees connected or the bottom leg extended, the top leg twisting over it. One more breath. Gently draw the body back through center. Unwind the legs. Take the feet mat distance apart as you gently drop the knees from side to side. As we come back through center, this time we keep the sole of the right foot connected, cross the left leg over. Maybe you stay here, maybe the sensation is enough, just sending the energy from that left knee away from the body. Or you might find that connection to the back of the thigh. Woo-hoo! Or maybe to the shin, if there's a lot of space. Maybe taking a little bit of movement if that feels good. You might even move a little bit and then land on a spot. I say it because I did it. Move and then you find a spot that is a little bit tighter, that could benefit from a little bit longer attention on that spot. Maybe you linger there. Awesome. Slow release. Take the sole of the right foot back to the mat. Keep that left leg crossed over, staying here, or maybe hooking. Release the arms to the sides and then gently take the legs towards the right side of your space. Slow release to center. Unwind the legs. Reset the hips. Draw the knees into the chest. This time, soles of the feet go to the sky. We're in a happy baby. Maybe the hands come to the inside or the outside of the feet. You might connect with the thighs, or maybe coming back to that bind of the big toe with the peace fingers is a sweet spot to land. One more breath. Let it go. Take any final movement that you might be craving before releasing the feet to the bottom corners of your mat. Arms fall gently beside the body, palms face up. And together, inhale, clench the fists. Clench everything in the body, tighten, tighten, tighten. And as you exhale, slowly release. One more time, inhale, tighten, clench, grip. Exhale, this time let everything go, completely relaxing every muscle in the body. as you settle into Shavasana. Stay here for as long as will serve you today. But if you're ready to close your practice with me, gently begin to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, inviting some easy awakening movement. Slowly begin to walk the heels in towards the body, taking the knees to the chest. Draw your chin up towards your chest. Squeeze everything in here, giving yourself a big hug. One breath here. Then taking the hands to the back of the thighs, as many times as feels good. Rock and roll up and down the spine. Before coming to meet in an easy seated position. Hands draw through heart center. We'll close our practice together with 2 deep breaths, bringing gratitude for landing on your mat into the body with each breath in. And with each breath out, letting go of anything that remains that no longer serves. Full breath in. And let it go. One more time. Thank you so much for landing on your mat and choosing to mindfully share space. Have a beautiful day.